So guys, here we are today. I do have a chicken in my house. uh, I noticed that one of my hens, now this particular hen has become egg bound in the past, and I increased her consumption of oyster shell, and for whatever reason, it seemed to help. And so she got over it. I lost several chickens in a row to being egg bound when I couldn't get my hands on oyster shell for a while in the early pandemic stages. And now that they're back on oyster shell, it helped her and she got through it. And that's been a couple of months ago, and she had been passing eggs regularly. And then she started acting listless again. Only this time it seemed different because this is kind of gross, but she did have some blood in her stool. And so I did some research, and I suspect whatever that stuff's called, coccidios, I don't know what it's called, some kind of cocci something. It's a parasite that gets into their gut, and it steals all of their nutrition, and then they get weaker and weaker, and they have bloody stools, and then they pass. And it usually kills them within 5 days. Well, she's at day 6 now, and I started medicating her yesterday. Now, I did bring her in because I thought for sure she was going to pass, and I don't want this spread to the rest of my hens, so I brought in their water container, bleached it out, completely sanitized it, and then refilled it with purified water and probiotics for my other girls. So my other girls are getting probiotics right now, which I should have them on that all the time, but I'm just kind of like a natural person, and I like to just let things be as they should be. They're already getting really good reverse osmosis water out there. But chickens are dirty animals, and they don't disregard their own feces, and they will poop in their water, and then they get this nasty bacteria. I called my vet. He doesn't treat this cocci. You're just kind of on your own down here, sort of. It seems like I could take her to the city and get a fancy schmancy city vet, but it's just not practical. You know, when you raise farm animals, this happens, and you have to kind of learn how to treat your animals sometimes on your own. You're sort of on your own. You have to learn it. It's good animal husbandry to become sort of a farming person who can, I'm not saying become a vet or a doctor by any means, but you have to start to learn different signs and different ailments and different things. You just have to take that on. It's good animal husbandry. So I suspect this cocci bacteria in her. I thought she was going to pass yesterday. I brought her in so that she could be in the quiet, not being squished by other chickens. And she was extremely listless. Her wattle was very pale. As you can see, she's hunched over. Her tail is droopy. And she just has absolutely no energy and no interest in anything. So I thought for sure she was going to pass. And I met a lady at the Tractor Supply, was desperate for something to help, and she has a flock of about 60 exotic chickens, and she recommended Corid. And so I went ahead and bought some oral solution, and in reading it, it's for calves. But I guess they get the same bacteria in their gut that chickens get from not disregarding their feces and eating out of their own waste. And so I started treating her. So I mixed it up the way that the instructions say to mix it up. Now, I am by no means telling anybody to do any of this kind of stuff on their own. I'm just basically sharing what I'm doing to try to save one of my older hens. So she's at 5 years old, and they generally live around 8 years. Oh my goodness, she's pecking at her grass. Now see, yesterday I thought for sure she was going to come in and pass away. And then today, you can imagine how surprised I was to find her up on her feet. So what I'm doing is, for her, besides separating from the flock, Mama. Oh, she looks so much better today. I can't even begin to tell you. She's got some color back in her comb and her wattle. I'm very happy to see that. So anyway, I just mixed it up, and I got a dropper, and I have to think about her weight. She's not a calf weight. She's a chicken weight. So you have to consider that when you're dosing. And I don't really have anybody that I can ask, so I'm just figuring this out as I go. So I just did a lot of research. And what I'm doing with this is I'm filling it up to the 0.05 mark, but I'm only giving her half at a time. So 3 lines or 2 lines. And then what I do is I hold my fingers like a little cup, and with the other hand, I shoot the liquid into my fingers and then force it up on her beak at the same time, and she laps it up. And then this morning, you can imagine I was shocked to not only find her still alive, but actually standing on her feet and interested in food. So I'm not saying this is a miracle cure by any means. I just think that that is what's wrong with her, and I think that this little bit of stuff is helping her. And I'm giving her this 4 times a day at about 2-hour intervals, and so she's getting a total of what would be 1 at 1 line, 1 milliliter a day. That's how I'm treating her. If anybody knows anything else I can try, please let me know. But she's actually interested in food today. So I'm doing the same thing with her oats. I scoop it up, I push it on her beak, and she has no choice but to eat it. Now she's ignoring her hot dog. I can't get her to eat hot dog, even though that's her favorite. She's eaten all her cheese, so she did have some cheese. Now chickens normally shouldn't have any dairy, but I've got to get some nutrition in this bird somehow, and she's just not at a point where she can eat hard grain yet. So, like my husband says, I'm trying to save her. I just can't just let her just stay out in the barnyard, and surely she would have died. Cold and stepped on and all of that. So at least in here with me, she's got a fighting chance. I do keep the towel on her. I keep her just like any other injured or sick animal. I keep her away from my other pets. I wash my hands in between. Anytime I touch her kennel, anything, I wash my hands. I keep her dark, I keep her quiet, I keep her warm, and I keep her comforted. And even if she does pass, at least she passed in here with us, and it's nice and quiet. She's not being trampled on. And this video is getting a little bit long and probably getting bored with chicken talk. So every once in a while, I do make a chicken video just because, it's part of animal husbandry. You have to learn this stuff as you go along. So, everybody, please send some good energy to Mama Chicken here, and let's hope for the best.